početku dana.
A mi ćemo odmah pozvati i gospodina koji se već udomaćio na ovoj crvenoj pozornici.
On ko da radi na summitu.
Vito Lalić.
Jučer, danas, sutra.
Više ste vremeni provela ovdje nego mi.
Razmislit ćemo o nekom fiju sa Adisom.
Da pa će da podijelimo, to je to. MOBOTIX, vaš case study danas, konika minuta video solution services.
More than just security.
Enjoy the rest of the 15 minutes.
Thank you. Once again, hi everyone. Today, in front of Konica Minolta, we will present a case study we finished this year. And actually, this is a forefront of the solutions Konica Minolta is developing in-house. We call this solution Foresight. So, the case study is about Mlin pekare. Mlin pekare is a huge company in Sisa County. They are one of the market leaders in baked goods productions, more than 300, closer now to 400 own stores, 25 units of baked goods produced per day, and 1,600, they told me yesterday, it's actually 1,700 employees. Foresight is an idea that came actually quite naturally to Konica Minolta, as we have acquired major part of MOBOTIX, which is the German producer of IP video surveillance. What does Foresight actually mean? It means to predict something that will happen in the future. So we predicted back then that we will actually start developing visual quality inspection, so video analytics, which are based on our cameras, but to develop custom-made stuff for each vertical. So we are not approaching the market saying, we have this, would you like it? We are approaching the market is, what do you need? If we find it feasible, then we can approach to custom development. Now in our portfolio, we can find, let's say, 3 modules for object detection and counting, assembly quality inspection, and also for defect detection, which is what we were talking about on the panel. We are seeing this for the industrial vertical quite important. Regarding the solutions we have now in our portfolio is, as you can see here, it is a part of the assembly. So in production, things can happen. For instance, if you have a washing machine being built in the company just before the shipping, it can happen that some bolts are not on the right place. If the machine is shipped somewhere to the customer, it will not be ready for, it will not be under warranty. So this is where the problem starts. Also for box, like we called it before, box defect detection, it's actually boxes for the pharmaceutical companies, which are shipping the medicine to the pharmacies. What happens that in these kind of boxes, you can find some residue, you can find some old papers, the boxes can be quite dirty, and also it can happen that there are some liquids inside. If you put like a box of aspirin in a box which has liquids inside the box, the aspirin is for the pharmacy, it's not usable anymore. What they will do, they will return the whole box back to the company, and this is where the money starts to pour out of the company. The latest product we actually did for the customer, excuse me, is actually for the Mlin pekare, is the, let's say, object detection, object recognition and counting. When we discussed with the customer, we went there for a completely different reason. We were talking about security cameras, we were talking about some other stuff. As we went deeper in the conversation and learning more about their pain points, we saw that they are expanding really fast. So they have three new big contracts with some big retail chains. So they are expanding, and when you are expanding so quickly, mistakes can happen. So the production there is, like I was mentioning before on the panel, is purely mechanical. So it's just a huge oven, baking goods, conveyor belts going through the factory where the bread is being cooled down, then it goes down to the slicing, and then it goes to packaging. So no metadata in any of the process. Lack of control, of course, it happens when you cannot have a conveyor belt of 1 kilometer and have camera on each side, but you can control part of the process and export this metadata and use it for further development. The phase one was quite simple, actually. It was making a decision where the camera or where the process should be monitored. So we have found with them two points, which is actually on the baking oven. The conveyor belt can go from the left or to the right. So definitely we have covered this part. Afterwards, we streamed the video completely independently from their own network, so we are cyber safe, to our servers in R&D. And after a week or so, we can say to the customers, yeah, we can do it or we cannot do it. Afterwards, when we present what we have done, we have firstly started to recognize 4 types of bread, so we can quite clearly distinguish, okay, these 4 types we can count, we can see which ones are, and then the customer starts to visualize how his end product would be in the end. The phase 2 was development after the POC, defining the project management role, which are always important, not just only from our side, but also from the customer side, because you need feedback. You need stuff like the plans when the bread is baked, the amounts which are there predicting that will be made. After that, in the phase 2, version 1.0 was deployed successfully, and 20 types, all of the types of breads were recognized in real time. Also integration with third party, meaning with their SAP or any kind of Navision or whatever system they're using is possible. And after 30 days, we had a huge recognition rate. Some numbers are saying that when we saw it after the first month, 900,000 breads and 127 were not recognized. This is the panel which they are using actually, made in Grafana. So this is pushed in real time. They can see the numbers. They can actually do some other stuff. They can do some other stuff, like they can have a reset button. The reset button is done for the guy who is watching the breads and planning, so he can reset it, but he needs to have a pin, so it's actually secure, so he cannot reset it. Anybody can reset it. With this historical data and with the filtering, they can predict what they can order, even from the flour part, from the water part, from the mixture part, everything. So if they say, for instance, okay, we plan to, with this amount of mixture, to produce 2,500 breads, and they see that the mixture is only enough for 2,400, they can change really, really rapidly and not lose money. So what the benefits are for the customer in this case is the accurate number of production, which is for them super important for all the other processes after the production. Numbers in real time are used by multiple departments: the controlling department, the planning department, the shipping department, and also the top management, because they want to see the real numbers. Planning future costs today, when we see that the energy prices are skyrocketing 10 times more in 1 month, there is a change. Of course, they want to reduce the costs in any kind. Eliminating human error, as we discussed before, it can be an unintentional, but can be an intentional also human error. So we can eliminate this stuff also without an issue. Alarming in case of unusual behavior. Unusual behavior starts when you see a hand handling in front of the camera some breads, which for them is really not a good, let's say, part of the process which should happen. This means that maybe the conveyor belt stopped for some reason. This can mean that somebody's handling something that shouldn't be handling there. So now they're planning delivery and production through the historical data. And of course, this is the first bakery in Croatia that we know of, and I think in the region that is using AI in the production of the bread. So this is a few nice words from the customer, actually. So we help them to monitor, because the process is so dynamic, more accurately. Controlling the quantity and type of bread is now easier for them. I mean, this is the point of the whole software, of the whole solution, as well as maintaining the quality of the product, because they can see if the product is overbaked or something, and we can react. So with this solution, they feel now safer in this, let's say, really, really challenging time for their production. Also, this is not just for breads. We did not develop something to recognize only breads and focus on that vertical. This is the idea about object recognition. So AI today allows us that we can recognize almost everything that is visible towards the camera. We can, with the machine learning, we can teach the software, the application, what is it and what to do with it. Is it quality inspection? Is it defect detection? Is it some scratches? Yeah, we can find it. Count it. If it's visible, no issue. Measure it, no problem. So this also reflects to the part of my first presentation yesterday, that security is not only for the perimeter security or the security of your company or your premises. It's also about the security of your business. So this is why we say rethink security. Thank you.